In the tumultuous landscape of the Soviet Union during the Cold War, the cults of personality surrounding its leaders played a pivotal role in shaping the nation's identity and ideology. This documentary explores the phenomenon of cults of personality, examining how leaders like Joseph Stalin and others were elevated to iconic status, influencing every facet of Soviet society and leaving an indelible mark on the nation's history. 1. Stalin's rise to power, forging the cult of the Man of Steel. The documentary begins by delving into Joseph Stalin's ascent to power, exploring how his leadership style and ruthlessness contributed to the creation of the cult of personality around the Man of Steel. Propaganda, portraits, and a carefully crafted narrative helped solidify Stalin's image as a symbol of strength and infallibility. 2. Symbolism and propaganda, the visual language of personality cults. Focusing on visual elements, the documentary explores the symbolism and propaganda techniques employed to build and perpetuate cults of personality. Larger-than-life statues, portraits, and carefully staged events served as tools to project an image of unwavering leadership. 3. Personality cults beyond Stalin, Khrushchev, Brezhnev, and beyond. Delving into subsequent leaders, the documentary traces the evolution of personality cults beyond Stalin. Nikita Khrushchev's thaw era, Leonid Brezhnev's era of stability, and the subsequent leaders all cultivated their own distinctive cults, adapting to the changing political and social landscape. 4. Stalin's legacy, the long shadow of a cult of personality. Navigating through post-Stalin years, the documentary examines how Stalin's cult of personality endured even after his death. Despite some attempts at de-Stalinization, his legacy continued to cast a long shadow, influencing subsequent leaders and shaping the trajectory of the Soviet Union. 5. Everyday life under the gaze of leaders, impact on society. Focusing on societal impacts, the documentary sheds light on how the cults of personality permeated everyday life in the Soviet Union. From education to media, citizens were constantly reminded of the greatness of their leaders, fostering a sense of loyalty and conformity. 6. Dissent and opposition. Challenges to the cults of personality. Delving into challenges, the documentary explores instances of dissent and opposition to the cults of personality. Dissidents, intellectuals, and reformists sought to challenge the narratives imposed by the state, leading to moments of tension and resistance. 7. Cultural icons, the role of literature, arts, and cinema. Navigating through cultural realms, the documentary examines how literature, arts, and cinema contributed to the construction of cults of personality. Propaganda extended into cultural expressions, creating a narrative that aligned with the ideals of the state. 8. Transition periods, Gorbachev and the winds of change. Focusing on transitional periods, the documentary explores Mikhail Gorbachev's era and the winds of change that swept through the Soviet Union. Gorbachev's attempts at openness, glasnost, and restructuring perestroika marked a departure from the traditional cults of personality. 9. Fall of the Soviet Union, dissolution of ideological icons. Delving into the 1990s, the documentary examines the dissolution of the Soviet Union and the decline of personality cults. The ideological icons that once dominated the Soviet landscape faded away, marking the end of an era. 10. Legacy and reflection. Unraveling the complex tapestry, concluding the narrative, the documentary reflects on the legacy of cults of personality in the Soviet Union. The complex tapestry of political iconography, state control, and societal influence continues to shape perceptions of the Soviet era and its enduring impact on Russia and its neighbors. In essence, icons and ideologues, cults of personality in the Soviet Union Cold War documentary provides a comprehensive exploration of how the cults of personality became integral to the Soviet Union's identity, ideology, and societal fabric. The documentary unravels the layers of propaganda, symbolism, and dissent that defined an era marked by the charismatic personas of its leaders.